Hey everyone, it's Briley and
Shawn.
welcome back to Interview a Senior, where each week we interview a different senior about their future plans, adjustments to changes, and high school experiences. Today's senior is Shawn. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Shawn. I'm currently a senior this year, obviously, if you're hearing me be interviewed today. I'm a member of the marching band and the drama club, and currently on the track to be valedictorian.
That's awesome.
Valedictorian.
Now we have a few questions.
All right.
Shantae, go ahead.
Number one, how do you feel about going 2 days a week? Like, do you feel this gives you more time to enjoy things?
If I'm being completely honest, I'm very neutral about it. Like, old me, before any of this happened, would have said, heck yeah, 2 days a week. But now I kind of miss being here a little bit because I don't get to see my friends as much.
True.
And the work is a little bit easier to understand. I will say that it's much easier for me to get my work done and completed. As for hobbies, I do have a lot more free time. I will say that.
That's good.
Yeah,
Me too.
I'm trying to see the positive in this year. Although it's our senior year and we're supposed to be making unforgettable memories, I do really enjoy those longer weekends and having more time to do things that we enjoy and we might not have had the time to do with the 5 days a week and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Shantae. Next question.
What do you feel is the most challenging task this year? What would you say keeps you motivated and determined?
Probably the most difficult task for me is trying not to worry too much about my future and with college. I've had a lot of stress and anxiety over the last couple of months trying to figure out what I believe is best for my future and what I want to do with it. But the thing that really keeps me going is knowing that I have support, especially from my parents. Just knowing that they're proud of me with everything that I accomplish is the highlight of my life.
Yeah, I always feel that you're so motivated and hardworking. I feel like everyone sees that in you. So I felt like that question was needed to ask. And I feel like sometimes I lose sight of what is important, and I always have to remember why I started and why I wanted to do that. And like what you said with you've been stressing out about what you've been feeling is best for you.
Yeah.
So
And I'm pretty
agree.
sure everybody stresses
Yeah.
about the future because you
Right.
really don't know what's going to happen.
Especially
Yeah.
it's your senior year and you got everything on the wall.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
everything
Everything's
is pushed towards your way, so it's
Yeah.
you gotta
Everything's
make a decision.
thrown at you at once.
Right.
Yeah.
The next question is, who has given you the best advice and what was it?
I wouldn't say a who, but a what. I read a quote once that says, "You must take the torch from those before and light the way for those after." I mean, obviously discussing leadership. That's the meaning behind the quote and what you can do to help those for the future. I've always been a leader when it comes to guiding people, coming up from behind me, both in school and in life, because I know now as a senior, there are people from behind in all the clubs that I'm in who I had to show them how to make themselves better. And also being an older brother, I want to be an inspiration for him, and I want to be that model for him. So basically, I've just tried to lay the best foundation for those who are coming after me, just to make their futures better.
Yeah, that's really good. A few days ago, I wanted to mention this because I've been thinking about this a lot, so I wanted to bring this up. A few days ago, Shantae actually said something to me when I was really nervous for a test. It was a chemistry test that I kept thinking about, and it was something just because others do bad doesn't mean you will too, and just because they do good doesn't mean you don't have to work hard. And I just felt like that was something people listening might need to hear. And that's definitely something I needed to hear, because I feel like sometimes when I hear oh, that test was so hard or stuff like that, I get really nervous, or I feel like I'm just going to do bad, or
I mean, I think that's with
So.
everybody too, to be honest with you. But one thing about me, I try to like uplift everybody. And believe it or not, Shawn, you actually have been one person that I've looked up to in the last
Really?
couple of years because you're motivated. And just the things you say and the things you do is just like it just sparked my eye. Especially like one thing you said earlier was that you are trying to be a valedictorian, and I really do appreciate that because half of us seniors, look back and wish we can do that, but
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the question about how he stays motivated and determined, because, like, sometimes I just, like, it's just insane to me how he, like, I just
Right.
don't know how you do it. It's insane.
because some people like with me I have a big busy schedule, so it's like I don't have time to focus on this and this, but one thing that's very important in my life is education, so I have to push everything aside and focus on that half the time. So
It means a lot to hear you say that, just to know that I've made an impact on some people. Thank you.
Okay, next question.
what has been the highlight of your senior year so far?
Probably the highlight of the year so far, because I know there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens towards the end where, like, graduation, obviously, and this is when we get all our awards and our scholarships and when we're going to college. But probably so far was being able to march at least one more time for a football game, because when all of this started with COVID-19, we didn't know if we were going to be able to do, all these activities, whether it's band, and I know you run,
Right.
but everything was uncertain for the entire summer. I looked forward to marching, hopefully. I had my fingers crossed and I was saying my prayers. And finally, we were given the green light. It wasn't a full schedule, I will say that. That upset me a little bit, but I'll take what I can get during this uncertain year.
Also, going with that question, what do you look forward to, and what do you feel you're missing out on?
I'm looking forward to seeing what the future is going to have for me. Obviously, getting all my college decisions back. I've already applied to everywhere I'm hoping to go. And basically, the only thing I say I really missed out on was not having as much time to do what I love and to be with the people that I love. So
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
basically about
I was gonna ask if you feel that marching band is any different than it would be in a normal year this year with everything going on.
It is, I will say this, the process and the activity itself is completely different, because at the beginning of the year we had to split up into a variety of different groups because there was no more than 20 people allowed together. And then eventually we started coming closer, and then we ended up being a full group within the next month. But I feel like this year has allowed the band to become more as a family,
Yeah.
because knowing all the stress that's happened and knowing that we had to work 10 times harder, we were able to come together more. And
I feel it.
Yeah.
Next question. When you look back on high school and later years, what will you remember most? Any unforgettable memories?
when I look back, probably the main thing I'll remember is the people who are always there for me, like all my best friends, those who stood by my side and created numerous memories, all the ones who were quick to make a joke, all those who picked me up when I was down. That's what I remember, is those lifelong friendships that I'll hold forever. And in the end, many people won't remember me, but I sure will remember those who stuck by me throughout.
I'll for sure remember you.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you how motivated you are, and
And kind. And like it's just crazy to think that like one day like this is just it's gonna be a memory. Like it's just it's just insane. Like it's just, and like I think sometimes it sets in and I just start to process it, and it's just like we're coming to an end of a chapter, in our lives.
I remember how many times in 8th grade we were told, once you get to high school, it'll be freshman year, and as soon as you know it, it'll be the end of your senior year, and you'll be like, what the heck just happened?
Right.
And we didn't believe them.
Right.
Yeah, now I can believe it.
Okay, go ahead.
If you could go back and change one thing, what would it be?
I wouldn't change anything. Everything that's happened so far in my life has led me to the point that I am in now. So without the regrets or the mistakes, I would not be the man that I am today. So I wouldn't change a thing.
That's good.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If I live by one thing, it's always to regret nothing and never think of anything as a mistake, just lessons that will build us for the future. So that's like my main thing that I like to live by.
Right, and I think one thing that I live by is, I'm going to put it in a track perspective. If I go out there and, everyone goes out in a sporting event and try to get the first place or win anything. So with me, I've learned that every time I hit second or below place, I look at it as a lesson, and it's not really a loss for me. It's just a lesson that, it's things that I need to get better on, and that really just teaches me a lot of stuff to get back on my feet and continue to do it, because a lot of people will want to quit after they lose, and it's just not me.
Yeah.
Next question. Where do you imagine yourself in 10 years?
I'm not sure where I see myself in 10 years. I mean, I could be in a broadcast booth calling a football game. I could be, on the front lines reporting for a global news network. I could be making graphic designs for a nationwide industry. I don't know. My future right now is in God's hands. That's how I've always put it. So wherever I'm meant to be is where He will put me.
Right.
And the only thing... I will say this, though. I've always had this question asked to me of what is the main thing I want in the future, and probably the only thing I'm hoping for is a family. That is the biggest thing that I want out of my future.
Yeah, I definitely see you doing really amazing things in the future, and I'm excited to see whatever that may be, like, through... Whether that be Instagram or whatever it is, I'm just really excited to see what that is.
Just the same thing Briley just said. I do see you actually doing bigger and better things and being a big person. People look like, wow, he came out of now. Yeah, so I do see that.
I'm really hoping for that someday. But, it's one step at a time.
Right.
Yeah. It takes time.
Time will tell, right. Then the last question is, what advice would you give upcoming freshmen?
Cherish what you already have.
That's good.
Obviously, the seniors, both last year and this year, were forced to sacrifice so much. So you really never know when the smallest things in life that you really enjoy will be gone in an instant.
Right. So
basically all I have to say is make the most of every minute you have in your high school career, because you never know how much you'll want it back. Because back in the spring, when we didn't know if we were ever going to come back, that's when it started to set in on me, wow, I might not see these people again.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that I had in mind with track being canceled in the spring. Really took a toll on me because, I was working so hard, and I thought last year was really going to be my breaking year of really getting a big-time offer and everything that I wanted to see in a college and a dream that I really hoped for. So just hoping and praying that we get this season and everything kind of go back to normal, even though it's really not going to go back to normal.
Is there really a normal, though?
Yeah,
right.
really.
Life changes on a dime, so really can anything ever be considered normal?
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're right.
But I thank you, Shawn, for helping us today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And I would say that is it for today's podcast. And we'll be back next week for a new segment.
Yes. Thank you, Shawn. And here's to starting new chapters.
Here's to the future and
Yes.
the best.
See you next week.
Thank you.